Piece with Christ second grade. This is Charlene. I'm Tommy's mom, and every year I get to come in, and Mrs. Paulus is so nice and lets me help bake apple pies with you guys. Well, this year because of COVID, we don't get to. So we're going to do it online, and I'm going to show you a video of how we make apple pies, and I'm going to put the recipe at the bottom so maybe you can go home and have your mom and dad help you make a pie of your own. So we're going to do this in segments, and you'll see me some, and you'll see Tommy some. Tommy, come here.
Hi.
This is Tommy.
I'm in 4th grade. I was in Mrs. Paul's class 2 years ago. Well, I'm going to let my mom continue.
All right, so we will get started. I am cutting the apples, and Tommy is going to slice them with a special apple slicer, and we will
This
go
is
from
how
there.
you cut the apple. So you take your cutting device, this one, and you push it on, and then you center it onto the apple. Then you just use your strength and push down on the provided handles. Then you take your core out, plop it in your trash can, and find the ones that still have seeds in it. I took the seed
Okay,
out
so
of this
Mom and
one.
Dad, this is your part again. What I do for the second graders is I usually take a plastic bag and I put in our ingredients. And this is the stuff that makes it go, that makes you a good apple pie. So the first thing we need to do is sweeten it up. And so we're going to put in a 1/2 cup of sugar. And we are going to put in some flour. And the reason for the flour is because the apples are only about 1/4 pulp, and the other 3/4 is water. And so because of all that water content, we need some flour to soak it up so that we don't end up with a super watery pie. And then we as Americans for sure have decided that we like spices in our pie. And so I'm going to put in some cinnamon and some allspice. The recipe is going to be below. And the recipe will be below. So there's some cinnamon. And this is just generic cinnamon that you get at the store, and allspice. And I guess it's showing up backwards because I have the camera towards me. And once we get all this put in, Tommy is going to show you the next step.
How you add the spice so how you add your mixed spices to the bag is, well, you have your stirred up spices. So you open it just a little, and then you pour it into your bag of apples. Okay? No, make sure that you're very careful while doing this, because you don't want spices all over your table. Okay?
Okay.
And then you throw that bag away. So then you zip up your bag and you shake it. So there are many ways that you can do this. Just shake it up. That's all.
And so the reason we shake it like this is because we want to make sure that the apples get evenly coated, since when they're in the pie they don't get mixed up. And rather than using a bowl where we end up flinging apples everywhere, we have found using a tossable bag has been a super duper easy experience. See that? Tommy has just made the innards for our apple pie.
Shake it.
We're back. Now what we're going to do is Tommy is going to show you the rest of the way to make this apple pie. I am just going to be off on the sidelines talking. What we're going to do is, since I'm at home, I'm going to use this pie pan that I already have, but you can buy tin pie or aluminum foil pie pans at the grocery store if you don't already have one. And we are going to roll out the crust, and we are going to make our pie. Now what we're using for the crust is this stuff. And it's, you can get this one, or there's a generic one they have at Walmart sometimes. It doesn't really matter, but we use these reusable, or these refrigerated pie crusts so that the kids don't have to get too dirty while they're at school. And so we're going to roll those out, and Tommy is going to show you how this works.
So what you do is you take your things and you open them. So my mom's already opened this one for me. So, and then you take your pie crust and you roll it out. So you carefully take the edges and you peel them, okay? Until it's loose enough to just roll, okay?
And when we're doing second graders, we let everybody take a turn at the table. But since it's just Tommy, he's rolling it all out.
And try to make sure that the edges are even, okay? And that there's no wrong things.
Okay.
I don't know if that makes sense, but okay. So then you carefully take your unrolled pie crust and then you put it onto your pie plate. 1 second.
And you just let it fall in.
And just let it fall in and stuff. And then you knead in the...
You crimp, is what it's called.
Then you crimp in the sides.
They can't see, hon. So you're using your thumb and your forefinger and you're pinching as you go around. Keep going. Yep. Good crimping. And then what you'll do, if you're using a, so my pie plate is made to hold these pie crusts perfectly. But if you're using a aluminum one, you'll see how there's a little bit of leftover here. We're just going to take a plastic knife and cut that off. Okay?
And make sure that if you have any air bubbles that you push them out, okay? Now, you take your apples, okay? And so
you open them.
And you have them open, and then you pour them in. Carefully.
Oh, that smells good.
Right. 1 second, I'm going to wash my hands. You take your knife and you even out your apples. Okay? And once that's done, then you take your butter.
And it's half a cup or 4 tablespoons. And he's going to unpeel the butter.
Except for the bottom part.
Except for the bottom part. And we're going to cut it into small pieces. And the reason we're putting butter in a pie, because apples and butter don't sound right together, is it also interacts with that flour and it adds a little bit of fat so that when the pie, the pie filling, as all that water comes out, creates a really nice gravy to hold your pie together. And again, because this is how it's going in, I mean, it doesn't really stir a lot. He's going to make a lot of small slices and put them on the pie. And the kids love to pass the butter around and each make their own little piece and put them in wherever they think they need to put them. And so you can see Tommy's kind of putting them all the way around the pie in different spots. Now that Tommy's got all the butter in there, I'm going to take our phone and show you what this pie looks like. So you can see the butter and you can see the apples. So what do you think the next step is, Tommy?
So you take your next pie crust.
Yep, we're going to put the top crust on.
Yeah. So you have 2 of these. One of them is for the bottom part, and the other one is for the top part. So this part is basically the same as the last time. So let me move the pie to the side for a second. So you unroll it like the other one.
Oh, it's tilted up.
So I'm just finishing this up, and once I'm done with that, oops, sorry about that.
Technical difficulty.
So I take this, and like the other time, I put it on top. But this time, so we do the same as last time. We knead it in.
We take our thumb. Hold on. We're going to do it right here. And you take your thumb and your forefinger and you just pinch it. And you make these little pinches all the way around. And I'm doing some funny pinches because I've got handles on my pie plate. And then this time, we do have lots of extra crust that we're going to cut off.
So, short intermission.
So you can see Tommy cutting the crust off, the extra crust off the pie. Ah. I'm trying to follow you around. Oh, that needs to get pinched just a little bit better. Move your hand, please. We're just going to pinch that up. And we have a nice, pretty pie.
Okay, so now we're going to add steam holes. And Mom, would you like to explain why?
Yes, so now what we're going to do is all of that water we talked about in the apples is going to evaporate and needs a way to get out. So when we do this in class, we let every kid, every table figure out what kind of pattern they want to make. And then each kid gets to make one of the cuts in order to make the pattern. So Tommy here looks like he's doing a starburst. And he used our plastic knife to put in all of those little vent holes. And I think that he has now got a perfect pie. So when we do this at school, this is the time where I would then take this beautiful completed pie, and I have two of the children help me carry them out to the car because we usually make 3 or 4. It's okay, honey, we're gonna do this. And we take them out to the car, and we, excuse me.
And she will bake it at
and I take them home and bake it because there's no way to bake it piece. So we are going to go ahead and turn you off, and we'll be back in an hour after this bakes. And again, I'll put all the directions underneath.
Bye. See you in one minute.
Here is our baked pie. And you can tell, we're going to go ahead and cut into this. You have this nice flaky crust. And when we pull out this piece, you can see all that appley goodness, and it's not too soggy. And now we get to try it. Forgot to bring my fork over. And perfectly delicious. Thank you, Tommy, for helping me out.
And we'll see you guys next time. Bye.